We are live here on YouTube. This is Matt from DrawingTutorialsOnline.com. Just give me a moment here to get situated. How's everybody doing today? We're going to be doing a portrait drawing. Let's see, my sound should... If... Okay, sound is good. Okay, cool. So how's everybody doing today? What we're going to do today is we're going to draw a portrait of this older woman. I don't really... draw older people. They're kind of very, very fun to draw. And this is a great photo that we're going to work from. And yeah, I'm looking forward to drawing it. We're going to do our warm-up first. And I would appreciate it totally if at some point you can give this live stream a like, hit the thumbs up button, because usually I'm at like less than 10% of likes. So if I get like 2,000 views, I'm not even close to 10% of likes. So that would be really, really super helpful for the channel. So I can kind of keep bringing you these live streams. All right, people, that's enough of the little promotion, and let's just get started here, okay? Okay, yeah, let's do this. Now, you're welcome to say hello, ask any questions, and I look forward to it. So what I'm going to do first here is switch cameras, and I want you to let me know if this sound is the same. That would be really, really helpful. This is the photo reference that we're going to be using. And yes, I think it's a pretty good photo. And okay, so now we're going to do our warm-up first. I haven't picked a pencil up since last Friday. And well, I just drew for like maybe 5 to 10 minutes right before the live stream, just to get the feel of the pencil on the paper. And it's kind of fun sometimes just to challenge yourself and go cold turkey like that. Hey, Paul, how's the sound? Does it sound good? Does it sound tinny? Does it sound the way that it always sounds? That would be really cool. What up? And hello from New Mexico. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Okay, so I'm going to do my same old, same old. I'm just going to do my quick oval warm-up, just to kind of get the feel of the pencil on the paper. And yes, okay, so ovals, this is like imperative that you do this. So just ovals. I have not lifted my pencil off the paper. We'll do one more, and that will bring me to the bottom. You could also do like long figure eights like this. This would be really valuable. And I start every single live stream off this way because it's just a good way to get the feeling of the pencil on the paper. Sounds good to me. Okay, thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. I also like to squeeze in like these little ovals or little circles, however you want to call them, just building up my line density, my line thickness, my line darkness. So we started off with light pressure, and now we're just pushing down a little bit harder. And that's a really good warm-up. And then usually what I like to do is do my torso peanut shape for the warm-up, and then like another oval for the head, maybe a straight line leg. And that's a really, really good, quick warm-up session. Now I'm doing like a little bit of angles. Awesome. We'll do some abs, and we'll do the navel. Everything I'm trying to do circular. Circular, another circle opposite C, one side of the oval, and then maybe our knee area, and then the opposite letter C down to the ankle. More oval lines around that foot. And... yeah, cool. All right. I think I'm warmed up. I think I'm ready to go. Hi, Leah. Hi, Phoenix. And Paul is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this is something really good for everybody to do. This kind of warm-up thing, I think it's so invaluable. Now, okay, let me move this. Well, I'm not going to move it just yet. This is how I warmed up before the call for this particular woman, and before the YouTube live stream. And I just wanted to get the hair, get a feeling for a couple of the angles, get a feeling for the nose placement, kind of get a feeling for this nose, which this model has a fairly big nose, which is fun. and we'll have a good time drawing it and the rhythm of the hair. So that's what I did for my warm up. And hi, Sandra, welcome. And let's just get going now. All right. So I'm going to remove this paper, and I'm just using my Strathmore 400 series white drawing paper, nothing fancy. And I just want to put one more piece of tape down on my edge of my piece of paper because it's pulling up a little bit. And then we'll get to drawing here. And then I'm a little zoomed out at first. And then after I get my placement lines, I promise you I will zoom in so you can see a little bit more. Excuse the hand. So you can see a little bit more. Okie dokie. So this, I think, yep, that's the top of my paper, roughly the bottom. I just want to make sure that I'm on the monitor. And over here, excellent. Now, okay. So I've got my photo reference to the left on my screen at a 45-degree angle, and I can see it, but there's a lot of glare from those windows to my left. So I've put it up on my iPad, and that's why you can probably see my iPad cord. I've got to rig this so I flip my iPad so it's not in the way like that. That's like a little unprofessional. But it's charged, it's good to go. I can actually see the model's head with no glare. Okie dokie. Now, I'm going to say that, yes, let's get started. So I'm going to say top of the head. Let me just see one thing here. I'm sorry. I want to make sure that, good, top of the head. If that's top of the head, maybe I'm going to go a little bit lower. All right, placement is everything. I am going to now just go a little bit quicker. So that's too big. That is way too big. Doesn't look big on the monitor, but it's big. I'm going to go a little bit here. And then top of the head. I'm just looking. I'm sorry. I know I'm a little bit in slow motion right now. Top of the head. And then this hair comes all the way down to that pointer finger. So maybe I'll do something like that first. And I'm going to say that this is going to be the bottom of the hair. So what I'm doing initially, and this is way more curved than what I have. Don't worry about any initial mistake lines because if we put background tone in, all that will kind of go away. So I'm going to stick here, come into this model's part, and then try to do the part of the hair. And it really kind of angles down. And then I'm going to wisp this across the page and go to the hair in front of the model's ear. And yeah, maybe that's my first go through. Now, if I sit here and try to overanalyze, I'm going to freeze and everything's going to go to poop very, very quickly. So let's see. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit faster. I just want to get this brow. Okay, cool. Now, ear placement. I can always kick out the back of the hair if the ear placement is not right, but ear placement, bottom of the earlobe, and bottom of the hair. And I'm not going to draw the model's hands. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this collar come across. And so I'm going to use my artistic license and just draw the collar. And the collar over here, again, I'm not worried about that right now, but you have to draw something with the shoulders and the neck because if you don't, it's just going to look very, very weird. Now, I know on YouTube, this is so light right now. So let me zoom in, okay? And now I need to shift my sheet of paper. Okay, so that was my placement. And let me just do this. Give me a little time. I'm just going to, I know my hand's in my camera right now, so just hang in there. I'm going to move this sheet of paper over. Oh, it's on my iPad. Okay, under my iPad. So I think that's good. Now, I just need to make sure it's level. Is this level? Almost there. I think it's fairly level. Okay, that level and plumb is so important. These carpentry um, words. Okay, one more piece of tape, people. One more piece of tape up top. Okay, now we're a little bit bigger on the screen. Awesome. Now let's just kind of dive into it. Let's dive into this. I'm just going to move this over. Actually, I'm almost there. I don't know why this is taking me so long today, but awesome. Let's start over. So that was our first go through for placement on the paper. And how long did that take? How long are we into this live stream? About 11 minutes. So a little bit too much talking, and let's just draw. So now I'm going to go back to where I started and build up my confidence and maybe kick out the hair just a little bit more. And so look at this. Like, I'm very edge based. I love the edge. I've trained my eye to see edges, and that's kind of like what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to come into the part. Now I'm drawing a little bit more in the center and right to this part of this model's hair kind of hanging down. And that is going into what I like to call the sideburn area. But let's just call it the hair in front of the ear, which on this particular photo is a little difficult to see. And yes, okay, so now we've got our ear. I'll look at the chat in a sec. Okay, so I think the ear is in placement. Okay, reset, Matt. Talk slower. Focus. I'm all over the place today. I think it's the pollen. There's so much pollen out there. Like, I feel like I'm in like a haze of like pollen. Ear placement is extremely important. You don't want to like blow through that. Like, not only the placement of the ear, but the size of the ear. Somebody did like a really good portrait and posted it up to my critique gallery on drawingtutorialsonline.com. And the drawing was so good, but the ear just needed to be placed and sized properly for the portrait to actually work. And soon as we tackled drawing over that drawing with proper ear placement and proper ear tilt, and then comparing the measurement of like what's right across from the ear, what's right across from the bottom of the ear, that was huge. And I'll show you, we'll do that here. Now, we've got a visitor in the back. I don't know if you can see them on that small little video of myself. That's Truffs, and Truffs is snoring right now, and it's like a high-pitched snore. They're driving me crazy. Okay. Now, let's look at the forehead as like a triangular shape, and let's place that eyebrow. It's a little bit lower. Forehead's, I wouldn't call it big, but I wouldn't call it small either. So eyebrows are angles. So I just want to place this, and this shadow. Yes, okay, and that's going there. And I'm going to come in like this to the bottom of this model's eye. And then we angle up, and then there's shadow over here on the inside of the eye socket. So I'm just going to place the eye like that. I don't want to press down hard on my pencil. So now this eyebrow comes down, and the bridge of the nose. And now, like I said, this model has a fairly big nose. I guess that's a relevant thing for people. And I'm just going to come on in, and this bridge of the nose, angle down, bottom of the nose, and then the angle for that mouth area. Okay, I'm going to resharpen. We started at 11 o'clock. I usually put these on I send them out in an email when we're going to start, and also I put them in the posts. And 12 minutes ago, so we kind of just started, and from the Netherlands. Hello, Elizabeth. Awesome. Okay, we really didn't do much just yet. Okay, what's next? So what's next for me is going to be this model's jaw area and then the chin area. But I feel as though I need to really work on the model's nose because it's pretty dominant in this picture, and I just want to be somewhat confident with its placement. Excellent. Okay, I don't like the way that's coming out, but this is important. Let's say you're doing a portrait and you've started and you're like, oh God, that looks terrible. Just place it, don't press down hard on your pencil, and move on, and we'll come back to it. What I think I really want to do is I really want to work on the eye a little bit more. And there's like a triangular shadow shape over there. Under the eyebrows, a little bit darker. The eyebrow over here is fairly dark. Now you're looking at the bridge of the nose to the front of the light part of the upper eyelid. And I'm going to roll down and roll down the side of the eye where it's a little bit more in shadow. Now, we're not seeing any pupil. We're not seeing any iris because our model is looking down. We're seeing a lot of eyelid, a little bit of the lower eyelid, and lashes, which is just, I don't see each individual lash, but you want to put in that shape because that shape's going to be extremely helpful. And then this shadow shape next to that eye. And don't worry, yeah, you want to try to get this placement fairly accurately, but I don't know how accurately I am with it. But I want to establish something here that's like a benchmark for the rest of the portrait to kind of grow from. I've got the basic angles of the face, and I'm good with that. I like my distance from the eyebrow to the hairline. This hair really angles down. I like that. I'm going to shade a little bit over here. That's the temple. There's shading over here. And then I'm going to come in immediately to the cheekbone. Now, I think I need to lean back a wee bit more. Constantinus, hello. Oh, the dog is right behind me. It's small right now. Let me switch cameras here for a second. There's Truffles sleeping. Truffles is usually not in my office during the day, but today Truffles is in my office and they're sleeping. So we have French Bulldog sound effects in the background. Okie dokie. Let's keep going here. Now, I've got way too much of a tilt on the nose, and I'm glad that I saw that. Sometimes you need to really look away from your artwork. And I just looked away from the artwork a little bit, and it helped me to see that when I came back to the artwork that the tilt of the nose is wrong. What I want to do next is I want to just do a little bit of shading with our model's hair. I understand that on YouTube, the model's hair is probably like a little bit difficult to see because it's so dark. But I'm starting the shading of our model's hair from where the light touches the shadow. You got it, Constantinus. And I'm going to shade long strokes now. Good. So that's giving me like a little bit of a landmark of darkness. Now let's get this shadow here. Okay, time to resharpen. I need to start to sync up some lines. I want to try to sync up this eyebrow with this eyebrow. This model has a fairly strong brow bone. That should tilt back. And now we are just drawing the eyelid on the other side, which is lower. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. This eyebrow could be a little bit lower, and this upper eyelid is a little bit lower there. Let me not judge it too hard just yet. Let's go back to the nose and try to get that tilt. Look more at the photo reference than you look at your artwork. Sometimes we get too caught up with staring at our drawing and we don't necessarily look at the photo reference enough. I say this constantly to my students in class. As they're drawing, I'll look around at them drawing, and half of the class is so staring at their drawing pads and staring at your drawing pad for too long. And I'm like, okay, people, you need to look at the model, because if you're not looking at the model, you're working out of your imagination and you're not doing a life drawing. And it's just a gentle reminder for people to, hey, keep looking at the photo reference. Now, I made the nose big. Maybe I made that nose too big. Uh, is a simple way to find the placement of the mouth is to put a small ball below the nose. No, well, if that works for you, I shouldn't say no. If that works for you, you can try that. But what I like to do is a little target line, which I'll show you in a moment. I think I made the nose like a little bit too long, and this nose tilts up much more. So I want to have the nostril tilting up a wee bit more. Now the mouth. I'm just trying to get this nose placement. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at the shadow under the eye to this. That feels a little long. I'm looking. I'm going to lift this a little bit is the key word. Lift this. Now I'm getting the angle for this model's mouth and then area, and then the chin curves around. This is tilted up ever so slightly. Then the jaw tilts, okay? And then the jaw comes down like that. Okie dokie. Now, a lot of that's going to get lost when I do the shading. Now, what I'm looking at, Constantinos, is I'm looking at this part of the nose to that part of the eye, comparing distances. And now this part of the nose to this part of the lips, and this part of the lips to this part of the jaw. So I'm constantly comparing. Now, what's right up above that, is kind of the center of the eyelid. I could always tweak that, but let's just get it in. So a little target line. Then that part of the lip juts up. Shadow underneath the lower lip. And we want to now try to get the accuracy of how big or how small is the chin. This pencil is going to break on me. Don't feel like you need to get this perfect. It's helpful, most definitely, if it's good placement. But if it's not, that's fine. Sometimes you got to work for it, and sometimes it comes easy. Okay, now you see this. I made the nose too long. We can erase that. That's fine, or we can not erase that and just turn that into background tone. Better. Oh, my dog is snoring. Okay. This should tilt a little bit more so. That's the other side of the face. The lip is jutting out. Sometimes I go shake truffles because like the nostril, French bulldogs are known for snoring and all other kinds of noises. And so, yes, there were other noises before the live stream. We won't talk about those. I was in my backyard this morning, and there was a frog that got into the pool yesterday, and I took it out. And then I went back this morning into the backyard to make sure the frog didn't go in the pool again. And I'm walking around. I shouldn't even be saying this story, but let's just say the frog was deceased. I think it was one of the dogs, and so not good, not good at all, not good at all. That's our first go through, people. I think the head needs to be higher up, the top of the head, and the nose tip is a bit flat. Correct. Now, I'm going to stop drawing for a moment and get a little swig of my coffee, and I need to reset my eyes, okay? It is so valuable for you to take a break. This is where you should stand up, take a break, look out the window for 30 seconds, look at something far away, reset your eyes, and then come back to it. And before you sit down back in your chair, you should try your very best to just look at it standing up from far away and do like a rapid eye movement. Look at your drawing, look at the photo. Look at your drawing, look at the photo. What I'm seeing is that this hair is out too much. There's too much hair on the left, and there's not enough hair on the top. So I'm going to try to tweak that. I'm going to come in. It's a little bit more vertical. Oh, yeah, I see now. Okay, gosh darn it. Chin to eye. Hair needs, this is way too big. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Look for a line of action. This rolls into the hair. At least I caught it fairly early and I didn't suffer through it. So now that will help me with my ear placement because the ear is way too low. Okie dokie. Now, do I have to erase this? Not really, because I can turn it into tone. But I want to erase it just because I think it'll help me with my proportions. Now, what you need to do, take your pencil or a ruler or your eyes and look at the tip of the nose with the idea that hopefully I have that nose right and what's right across from that. And I think the earlobe is somewhat across from that. We could shade this a little bit more so. Shapes are valuable. Let's shade the ear. Just like that. And soon I'm going to use my brush just to make all of this a little bit more solid. And this dark over here. Good. And now a light middle tone or middle tone at the top. And then we've got like I need to do like this dark shape over here because this dark shape will help me determine how tall this head needs to be. Now, listen, if you just joined the live stream or you're watching a recording of the live stream, because a lot of people watch the recording of it, please give me a thumbs up, okay? I would really very much appreciate that. We had like 2,000 plus people watch the video last week, the live stream of the figure drawing, and I think I got like 160 or 150 thumbs up. And for 2,000 people watching, that kind of stinks. So yeah, if you can help me with that, that would be really valuable. It's all about YouTube and what they like and all that jazz. So now, okay, collar. So I'm a big believer in not putting in a neck or a collar. I'm just going to suggest this collar because if you don't, and we don't need to be so perfect with the collar. We can use our artistic license and just kind of have some fun here. Yes, so it comes down and be like a little bit looser with that. Now, I'm going to resharpen. You got it. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate that. Now, we're going to start all over again, and I'm going, maybe I'm going to use the brush today, maybe not. I still think that something's off. Maybe the eye's too big. Let's just keep drawing. Let's see if we can't fix things. Let me just get a little swig of water here. I want to reset my eyes. Awesome. Back to the eye of this model. I want to try my very best to get some angles correct here. So under the eyelid, Elizabeth, that is great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, if you don't like the video, don't feel compelled. If you got something from it, great. Uh, okay, and shade a little bit more. Use a little. Where are we? We're a half an hour in. We're doing good. This is a 30-minute head so far. Not bad. The nose needs to be fixed. Something about the nose is not working for me, but at least we've got placement. And the tear duct area, this is in shadow. This is on the side of the nose. I don't want to, I'm pressing down pretty hard there. I should have gone a little bit lighter in case I want to move the eyelid to the right. But I think my Mono Zero eraser can handle that and erasing that. Drawing older people is fun because as we get older, I'm getting older now, we get like a little bit more gritty. And grittiness could be very forgiving when you are drawing a portrait. When you're drawing like a really beautiful, like 20-something-year-old who's got really clear skin and no wrinkles, no age on their skin, you can't put lines there. You're going to age them. And it's a little bit more difficult. But when you're drawing an older person with all this life expression that they have, it's a little bit more forgiving. Let's put it that way. This should angle up. Yes. And okay, let's go to the eye and let's see if we can't be a little bit. Let me just push this dark. I'm going to switch pencils. I also will doze off at time when doing video studies of art courses. I sit at times when this happens. Yeah, it's good to get up and move around. Hey, Eldeberto, I hope I said your name right. Eldeberto Costa. Good to see you. First time I catch you live. Thank you so much for watching. Do you draw for 15 to 20 minutes and then take a 10-minute break to reset your eyes? Sometimes when I draw, I forget to take breaks. Well, my body is set on the SVA model schedule because in the classroom, the models pose for 20 minutes. Ooh, this pencil's so much softer. And at 20 minutes, you're supposed to give the model a break. Now, within that 20-minute session, it could be 4 5s, it can be 2 10s, or it could be a 20, it could be 10 2s in terms of the time. But I'm just set. Like I almost like know like when the 20 is up. And sometimes I'll even say to the model, did you set your timer? And as soon as I say that, like the 20-minute timer goes off because I'm so used to that time frame. So I like, and then there's like a formal name to working for 20 minutes and then taking like a 5-minute break. You know, the problem nowadays with the 5-minute break, it could turn into a 15-minute break. I know that's happened to me a couple times when I'm working from home because of social media. So you're like, oh, let me take a break. And then your phone is right there or your iPad is right there and you reach for it. And before you know it, it's like, oh, damn, like, okay, that was 15 minutes. That's no good. I shouldn't do that. So that's a bad thing. So you need to have discipline, and some people like to work with timers, and you can do that almost like you're working in the classroom setting, and you're using the classroom timer, 20 minutes, 5. And with the students, like the drawing horses that we draw on, they're not really comfortable. I think having the students get up every 20 minutes is also valuable. And in my classroom, what I like to do is alternate. So I'll do a 5-minute demonstration during the 5-minute break, or I'll give them a 5-minute break, and then I'll do a 5-minute demonstration, and then we get back to drawing. So the students have a little bit more of a break than I do with that, and that's fine. I'm used to it. So yeah, you should definitely do that. You don't now. if I'm honest with you, when I was younger, I would sit for like 1 to 2 hours, and I didn't feel it. And I also had to sit because was forced to sit for the idea of having to meet a deadline and just driving the painting to finish and doing the best I can to just sit and work for as long of a period as I possibly could. Now, I was younger and I had way more of a tolerance for that back in the day. I don't have that sort of like deadline stuff anymore. But you have to kind of work within your comfort zone and then stretch your comfort zone just a little bit, like another minute, another minute. Um, yeah, you can get a lot done that way. Okay, now I'm going to go through these angles once again. Okay, we've got the angle of the forehead up top, and then it comes in, and then the brow bone goes out, and then the eyebrow curves around, and then we have our upper eyelid with a fold of skin. And then it's like a little dark triangle in there where the eyelash would be. Okay, let's work this nose and make it a little softer. Oh, I see. I'm missing a little bit of brow bone. I think the eyes need to be closer together. I'm going to bring the brow into the left. Bring the brow into the left. Bring the nose in to the left. Yes. Okay. 1 second. Yeah, I usually just I love holding. This is the way that I draw on the Cintiq as well. Once I like, this is my hand position, and I usually kind of keep it the same. Yeah, everyone's different. There's no right and there's no wrong. I mean, you have to do what works best for you. Okay, that's a little bit better. I dropped out of a teacher's class when I was in college. I shouldn't have done it. Like, they told me I was holding my pencil wrong and I was using the wrong pencil, and I should have stayed in the class just to kind of hear them out. I dropped it way too soon, which was a huge mistake. Okay, now let's see. Where else can we go with this portrait? I want to move this model's right eye to the right because I'm looking now. These eyes are closer. That erased pretty good. Not bad. Okay, let's do this. This is a pretty definitive shadow. I should zoom in maybe for you. I don't know. How does this look? Oops. I think I might have. I was looking at YouTube. And I'm just going to raise my paper. This is a cheat for me to just reset my eyes. I just want to raise this up a little bit. Excuse the hands. Better. Let me make sure my paper is level. I think that's pretty good. Okay, let's keep going with this. Let's do this shadow once again. This eyebrow, brow bone, brow, and then our nose angles. This is a shadow on the side of plane of the nose. And then we have a shadow on the tip of the nose, which is nothing but a ball shape. We'll bring this nose to the left and then tilt down, and now we've got this nostril. Now the nostril is tilted down, and there should be no light under the nostril. We're just going to make that all shadow. This side of the nose should not be as light as the forehead. And underneath the mouth, we've got to be a little careful that we don't do like a too much dark under there. Now let's try the lip again. I don't have a hardcore answer for that last question, Constantinos. For memorization and books, yeah. For me, memorization happens for me through repetition. And I've been practicing like some visualization things. And so if there's something that you need to memorize, and you go, let's say it's a course, right? You go through the course and you need to remember the course. Let's just say, for argument's sake, it's a race car driver and they need to race this course. You go through it, you drive through it once, and then you drive through it again on your practice lap. And then what you do when you're out of the car, you try to visualize and memorize simultaneously the course. And you try to do that as many times as you possibly can, at least 20. And that is a wonderful way for you to start practicing how to memorize something and visualize something at the same time. And a lot of that is through repetition. Lots and lots of repetition. Because you can, like, for anatomy, it's important to understand that you might have to look through that book hundreds of times to look at it over and over and over again over the years, because some people, including myself, tried to learn anatomy really quickly, and that didn't work. Like I needed to look through that anatomy book over and over and over again until I understood it, and it did take me years. I take that for granted right now because I do know most of the muscles and the bones in the body, and I understand how they work. But boy, it took me years. And I was a little bit unrealistic when I first started, thinking I was going to get this like quickly, but no, that didn't work. So you just, and then there's the other concept of this is compartmentalizing and just focusing in on a small little area at a time and not trying to learn it all at once. So a good thing for you to do is focus on the shoulder. I love the shoulder. The deltoid, the scapula, and the collarbone, and just focus on that a little bit, and that would be really helpful. All right, let's see here. I need to put some dark on that fold of skin on that eyelid. We're getting there. It's slow. It's a slow go today. This eyebrow needs to be higher. Yes. And this eyebrow needs to be lower. Better late than never noticing these things, right? Perhaps this eye could be even higher. I don't want to reinvent the wheel here, but we can go higher with all of this. I got to be careful because I don't want to make the hair much higher. Yeah, let's just erase a little bit of this out. It's a little low. And then erase out like a lash, a lash, a lash. A little bit better, a little bit better. Okay, I'm just going to get a little drink of water here. 1 second. I'll tell you, when I do these live streams, this time flies. It's crazy. It is really nuts. It's already 45 minutes in. Now, listen, for those of you who have been with me since started doing the live streams again, I've been doing them on Tuesdays, right? Next Tuesday, I cannot do a live stream because my office is going to be used as a storage room for other rooms' furniture because other rooms in my house are getting new floors. And so we need to take the furniture out of those rooms, and these people are coming on Tuesday uh, and Monday to do this. And so I'm going to try to squeeze in a live stream next week, but it's not going to be on Tuesday. Maybe Friday. We'll try Friday because I don't have. This week is my last week of the semester at the School of Visual Arts. It's done for me on Friday of this week. So next Friday, I could do a live stream because by then I think maybe my studio will be halfway back to normal and stuff will be out of it. So I just want to kind of give you a heads up. I love the Asaro head, and I love the Asaro head for understanding the surface planes of the head. But I've got to say, drawing the Asaro head is just complete and utter torture because it's so geometrically like perfect. I think every single artist who is into drawing portraits should draw the Asaro head. I think it's a rite of passage that every portrait artist should draw. Every portrait artist should do the Asaro head. But I'm telling you, it's not going to be fun. It's absolutely going to be torture because it's just so perfect. Like there's another teacher that has an Asaro head and they leave it in the closet in the classroom. And yeah, it's cool. And I give that assignment a lot to people that I've coached in the past to draw, to get better at portraits. I think something that you really need to do is you need to understand the surface planes of the head. And the way that you understand the surface planes of the head is through drawing the Asaro head. And then the Asaro head is also extremely valuable for when you are trying to understand light and shade. Because now what you can do with that Asaro head is you can put different sorts of lighting on the Asaro head. So you can understand top light, form light, underlight, rim light, all these side light, all these different lighting situations, right? But drawing it, oof, it's brutal. It's brutal because it's kind of in your face, right? And there's no place to hide. And whenever you're drawing something that is synthetic, man-made, it's always more difficult than something than something that is organic. So, say drawing a tree is organic, so much easier to draw than say something that is man-made, like a telephone pole, which is synthetic. It's kind of perfect, and so the Asaro head is kind of almost too perfect. I'd rather you go into the Asaro head with the idea that you're just going to do a sketch of it because it could be a little frustrating. But again, to me, it's a must draw for anybody who is wanting to get better at portrait drawing. No doubt. No doubt. Now, if you hate the Asaro head, I have sympathy for you. I hate it too, but I think it's extremely valuable. I believe that you can draw the Asaro surface planes of the head without drawing the Asaro head simply by copying some George Bridgman surface planes drawings. I think those are some of the best things to copy, and I copied them in the past when I was younger, and I used to draw from the Bridgman book when I would warm up before a day of painting, and yeah, just even looking at those drawings, the Bridgman drawings, which they're a little confusing, but they're awesome. I say confusing because he in some of the drawings used a ton of line, but that's another way for you to understand the surface planes of the head. Yeah, that sounds cool, Phoenix. Constantinus, maybe you want to check that out, no doubt. Let's see here. I'm debating whether or not I use the paintbrush to blend, or do I just keep it rough like this? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go over it with my big brush. And that does blend it a little bit without being overly aggressive. Now I'm going to just take some artistic license here and just have fun. So I might shade. And then I'm going to come down over here, which you can't really see. Now, when you do the shading, you just got to make sure that it's not too distracting. Okay. I'm just looking. I'm going to lower this. And then I'm going to raise this. Front of the ear. Earlobe. Top of the ear. Really dark over here. I'm going to ignore the earring right now. It's fun, though. It would be really fun to draw the earring. Oh, I'm just looking for my eraser. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh boy, I'm really torn with this. Yeah, I'm just trying to get that placement there. I shouldn't be doing that dark line. Okay, let's go back up top here. Let's do some shading at the part of the hair. Curve around the head with some of these lines. There's dark over here on the other side of the hair. Okay, we're about 54 minutes into this piece. A little dark up top over here, and then this kind of rolls in, kind of rolls out. Some dark over here. Darker eyebrow. And let's go through it again. This eye shouldn't be white paper. Something about the nose that's not working for me. Maybe I'm going to kick this over to the left. It's a little bit too dark. Some form lines right there. I don't mind putting extra marks on an older person's face. If it was like a young kid's face, I would try and be avoiding some of this. That's just my style. But on an older person, I'm okay with pressing down with more versus less. More detail, that is. More shapes of tone. I'm just kind of having fun right now putting in some of these form lines. And yeah, it's pretty dark in the shadow there. My goodness. Now, I should use the brush in the hair because it would make it go darker instantaneously. Maybe I will in a second here. Yeah, this brush will push the pencil into the paper on the shadow side of the hair, thus making it a value darker. And I'm going to blend this right into the collar. I guess I am using the brush. It just takes forever to get the tone down with this pencil. So I'm trying to speed it up a little bit. Yeah, this should darken everything now. I I like using the brush. I do. It helps the Col-Erase pencil be a better person. It helps the Col-Erase pencil be a better pencil. Absolutely, it does. Because the Col-Erase pencil is a little bit of a pain in the neck sometimes, and it just takes forever to do the shading with it. Now, I'm still not sold on this model's nose here. I definitely didn't get it, which is a little disappointing, but I'll try. I think I can work on this thing for a very long time. There's just never enough hours in a day. I see what I need to do. Let me get my mono zero. There's a little light of the other cheek under the nose, which I didn't capture. And that is going to help that nose jump off of the paper right there. And we could, yes, good. And now that lip angles up. I got to be careful. It's very soft under here. This is a fairly big nostril. And maybe I didn't need to go so dark with my outline. Okay, this nose juts in front. I'm sorry, that lip, lower lip, juts in front of the face. And, oh, I see now. I'm starting to see it a little bit better. The nostril goes right off of to the right. Whoa. Now, we don't need to copy the nose exactly. We can use artistic license and we can make the nostrils smaller. We don't have to copy it, and that might be better for you. I'm just trying to do this somewhat accurately. Okay. And let's go through it. Okay, we've been at this for an hour. Okay, hey, Kat, I'm getting a haircut, so I can't watch, but hope it's been a good stream. Yeah, we're hanging in there. We're hanging in there. Does fixative spray protect pencil sketches and paintings? Um, the only time hey, Kat, welcome, welcome. The only time I ever have used fixative, because it's just another toxin, is for my under drawings before I would do an under painting. So I would have my illustration board, I would gesso it, and then I would draw on top of the gesso for my under painting. And then what I would do is I would spray fix my under drawing. And then so when I went on top of my under drawing with my under painting, the drawing didn't get washed away because I didn't spray fix it down. So that was the absolute only time I ever would want to use fixative. In terms of what you said here, fixative spray to protect pencil sketches and paintings, I never used fixative on top of a painting. Maybe sometimes I would spray varnish, but I've had mixed results with spray varnish because I would spray varnish and then it would bleed up, and that was a nightmare. And for me, being an illustrator and not a fine artist, every single painting that I did needed to be handed in for the deadline so the publisher could photograph the painting for the book cover for the designer to start putting the name of the book and the text and all that stuff for the book cover. And so it needed to be photographed like immediately. And if the painting was shiny via spray varnish or Damar varnish or something like that, they had a hard time photographing it. So I used to section paint, which is too much to get into right now on this live stream. So none of my oil painting colors sunk in. If you're an oil painter, I think you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, no, I never would ever think about putting fixative on top of an oil painting or any painting. Just a drawing that I'm going to paint on top of, and I've never spray fix. I've got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of drawings, literally, and I've never spray fixed them at all. So hey, Trey, how often do I do these? Well, right now I'm doing them once a week on Tuesdays. Unfortunately, next Tuesday I have to miss because of some construction work here at home, and my studio is going to be used for furniture storage from other rooms in my house. But I'm going to somehow, some way try to sneak in a live stream next Thursday or Friday, depending. So this summer, and summer starts for me next week, because that's when the spring semester of the School of Visual Arts is over, I'm pretty much going to do one of these a week, and that's the goal. You know, life's going to happen. I do have a pre-college class in July from, I think it's July 10th to the 15th, and I'll be in the city all day teaching a bunch of pre-college kids live drawing, and so I won't be doing a live stream that week. But yeah, right now I'm trying once a week. Now, listen, you could support this channel on YouTube by leaving a comment after the video is done streaming to give me a thumbs up. And if you're looking for something extra in terms of feedback for your artwork, you can check out drawingtutorialsonline.com, my website. And on my website, I've got dozens and dozens of drawing courses, portrait, figure, composition, perspective, how to draw hands, how to draw feet, a full anatomy section. So I've got tons of courses there. I've been in business on this website since 2008, and there's a lot there. But you join the website because you want feedback on your artwork. Like, you're not going to get feedback on your artwork from me, at least on YouTube, but I could give you feedback on my website. And how does that happen? Well, two ways. One is the critique gallery, where you upload your artwork to my critique gallery, and every single Monday I'll do a video critique of your artwork. And also on Tuesdays I do a Zoom class for members of drawingtutorialsonline.com. And on the Zoom class, we draw together for an hour, and then we have a Q&A for an hour. And I usually get to everybody in that Q&A, and I give them some tips on what they can do. It's nice because after the live stream, after the Zoom class, I say, okay, well, Zoom class, we draw together, and then I critique people's artwork on Zoom in the second hour, and then I'm like, okay, work on it a little bit more, and then post it to the critique gallery. So they get kind of two critiques on their drawing. And so if you're interested in that, check it out. There's links below this video. You got it, Trey. Anytime. Anytime. I'm trying to think of what else I can do to this to make it look a little bit better. I think the ear is a little wonky. I'm just going to make this ear darker. Just lose it. Just lose an edge. Most people leave the ear way too light. I think we need one or two loose strands of hair also. Not sure how I'm feeling about the nose, but it is what it is on this live stream. I think maybe we can go a little darker with the lip. Yes. The lip is not a straight line. It's a complicated, curvy line. And don't outline the lower lip too much. I'm kind of keeping it somewhat simple. Maybe I'm going to lift this up again. I must have drew this line like 5 times. And I'm going to connect it to here, to this made-up collar, because I'm not drawing the hands. So that's another thing. Like if you see like a portrait and you like it, and there's weird hands or weird something in the background, don't feel like obligated that you need to copy that stuff. Like, leave it out. It doesn't, just go into the drawing with a purpose. Like, okay, for this particular drawing, I want to focus on the model's eye. I don't care about the other stuff. And so I think it's important that you go into it with a purpose. Just want to move this over to the right. Okay, let's see. What else can we do here? I'll tell you, this is awesome practice for me to do these drawings, because it just is. Like, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. It's just in your face. Like, okay, let's do a live stream. Let's just kind of do this portrait. Let the cards fall where they may. Like, it doesn't get any better in terms of practicing like this. For you and for me, like, to do these drawings like once a week, crank out a portrait drawing. It's cool. or a figure drawing, which I do enjoy drawing the figure a little bit better because I love anatomy. This is cool for me. It's just a little bit more. It's a different mindset. It's just really about measuring and comparing things. That's to me what portrait drawing is all about. Okay, let's try to do some detail over here. Okay, I'm gonna get a little swig of water. Maybe we'll work on this for like another 15 minutes and we'll call it a day. Okay, what else can I do to this? I just want to focus on this eye a little bit more. I should get rid of the pure white paper. There's a fold of skin on the eyelid. Put that in lightly and softly. Make sure we got the tear duct. This eyelid angles up. We could get an eyelash darker underneath on the lower eyelid. And let's make sure that we've got this darkness of this brow and the darkness on the side of the eye socket near the bridge of the nose. And a little darker and taller. Curve around, curve around, curve around. So what we're going to be doing today on my Zoom class at drawingtutorialsonline.com is we're drawing different shapes of people's different types of hair. I love that class. I kind of almost want to do it out of my imagination as a challenge. Wavy hair, kinky hair, straight hair, all different types of hairstyles, different people. Okay, so we've got some crow's feet over here I want to put in. This is the true dark dark. There's a little highlight over here. I'm just adding more lines. Oh, we should go a little darker under the brow. And there's a line on that eyelid too. A couple of folds of the skin on the forehead. For me, gesture drawing is absolutely ginormously huge because it enabled me to get faster, both visually and physically with the pencil. So when you do gesture drawing, it forces you to look and see things quicker. Oh, we're doing a 1 minute pose. Okay, let's get now. You could get lazy with a 1 minute pose, but the goal with a 1 minute pose is try to draw the figure from head to toe in 1 minute. Now, I think people make mistakes with gesture drawing when they outline everything. Outlining everything is really the kiss of death. Like you've got to leave a lot of information out and just selectively draw certain things. And that comes with time. But I've literally done thousands and thousands of gesture drawings because that's how we start my drawing class at the School of Visual Arts. We do 10-2s. And I mean, this semester alone, I taught 30, well, yeah, 30 live drawings. So 30 times 10 is, I think, 300. So, yeah, that's just the warm up. That's not even the whole class. So, there's a lot. Gesture drawing just is so valuable. But you've got to just go into it understanding its purpose. Its purpose is not to be perfect, its purpose is to help you speed up. And for me, I'm always about proportions. So no matter what I do, even in a gesture, my goal is to make it look like the model. Now, there are some people who can do amazing gesture drawings stylistically, but it looks nothing like the model. So I always want my gestures to kind of look like the model. Ah, this nose. Gee whiz. Okay. I'm just trying to do like a balanced portrait here and not worry so much about one thing. So I'm just now putting some more form lines around the drawing. Being a little bit more stylized with it. Uh, yeah. The fundamentals. A lot of that's another thing that I do. Outside of YouTube and outside of the member area at drawingtutorialsonline.com is I do coaching for pre-college people who are in the midst of building a portfolio to show to the admissions office when they apply. Now, if you're applying to get into the School of Visual Arts or a different college, the department is going to dictate for you what should be in your portfolio. And there are certain requirements for the animation department which are extremely different than the requirements for, say, the fine arts department. With the animation department, there are certain things that they really like the portfolio reviewers. And yeah, so like the portfolio has to be department friendly, if that makes sense. There was one girl that took my pre-college class at the School of Visual Arts and then signed up to my regular coaching, and I did four video critiques and four Zoom calls with them, and they created this killer portfolio, and they almost got like a full scholarship. It was nuts, and yeah, they're not in the animation department. I think they're in the illustration department. So I'd never see them because that department is on the other side of the city compared to the building that I'm in. But yeah, they were such a hard worker at such a young age. It was crazy. Um, what else can we do to this little portrait here, people? This nose is not big enough, but I don't want to make it any bigger. When you do the lips, the line in between the lips, do not make it so black. If you make it really dark, you need to soften it a little bit around it because it's some people make a little bit of a mistake where they make the line that goes and separates the upper lip from the lower lip. They make that line so black. And I could, maybe go a little darker with mine, but I don't want it to be a sharp, dark, dark line. It needs to be a soft, dark line, if that makes sense. What else can we do here? This, I think we're almost done. Let's do the earring just for shits and giggles, okay? Am I allowed to say shits and giggles? I don't even think I have the ear placement right, but screw it. Let's just do the earring. So I'm going to do like a little eraser. That's kind of fun. And let's draw this ball. cool. And don't worry about being perfect with it. And then we've got like a little globe thing over here. And I'm going to take my little white charcoal and just have fun. And this ear, maybe I can go darker here. Now, I usually say to my students when we're drawing portraits, especially of young people, do not draw with any dark within the ear. But in this particular case, it's okay because they're an older person, and I don't mind older people drawings to be more gritty. And this ear is so in the shadow that I think it would be a detriment to the drawing if it was too light and there was light within that ear. So I'm just keeping it soft. Yeah, I think I am done, Joe. You're absolutely right. I'm just kind of fussing with it. Maybe I'll go till like 12:30 and then we'll call it a live stream. Absolutely. So yeah, this is the last week at the School of Visual Arts. The spring semester is over for me on Friday afternoon. My last perspective class. Um, Had some really great students. Some students are struggling to get their work complete. I'm hoping they finish all their homework. Um, it's no joke. It's they have, especially the animation students, they have to finish their animation film, and that destroys them. And it's hard. It's a hard department. You've got to kind of be a balanced human being. Like you've got to take care of yourself, and you've got to have a good work ethic. You've got to eat right, which most people do not. And I talk to my students about food and eating correctly for sitting down in a chair all day. Like you need to eat for brain power, and carbohydrates are for athletic things, not sitting in front of a computer all day and using your brain. So, you have carbs and then you crash and you can't finish your work and all that jazz. So, like, I try my best in the classroom to be more of a holistic approach, so these students can be successful, and energy and stamina and all of that. You need all of that in the animation department to complete these big projects that they do. Okay, let's see here. I'm just using a little bit of artistic license. Could we do more wrinkles and folds and all that jazz? Sure, but there's not enough time, and I'll just erase out that highlight. Let me, okay, timeout. Don't like the nose. Gee whiz, that nose is killing me. Um, oh, this is done. Okay, I need a new eraser to in this eraser holder. Doggone it. Okay. Oh, it's done. Gee whiz. Okay. Oh well. Next time. The nose, the nose, the nose. Yeah, sleep. Absolutely right, Joe. You're reading my mind today. Yeah, I'm overworking it. I'm overworking it. Jesus. Okay. And now I don't have my little eraser, so I can't. I have the refills for it, but they're somewhere in a drawer below, which I don't have time to get right now. So let me just. That was fun, people. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. Now, listen, when this live stream is done, you're probably usually what happens on my machine is that another live stream from somebody else starts. If you can go back to the video and leave a comment in the comments section, maybe suggesting to me something you'd want me to draw. Maybe if you haven't given the video a thumbs up, you can give the video a thumbs up. But yeah, letting me know something that you want me to teach would be pretty phenomenal. And also, next week, we're not going to be doing a live stream on Tuesday. We will do a live stream towards the end of the week, and I will make sure that I email everybody and put it on my YouTube posts when exactly the live stream will take place. Yes. Having fun with this. I'm going until 12:30, which is 4 more minutes. Maybe the ear is too far to the left. Now, how do you know when you're done? Well, I just don't like what I did over there, and the drawing was fine. So that means I'm done. Darn it. Okay. Let me see if I can't. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. Yeah, and you don't want to press down too hard with this pencil because then what you do is you start to imprint on the paper. And that's no good either. You got to gradually build up the darks with this pencil. And that's what I would be doing for the next couple of hours if I wanted this to be a complete drawing. I would be building up the darks slowly with lighter pressure so I don't destroy the paper. Okay, so what I'll do is I will photograph it and I'll put it on a post. And I thank you all for watching today. That was a ton of fun. And I hope you learned something. Let me switch cameras here. Yeah, let's go here. Okay, you know the live stream is done when you have to go to the bathroom. Been drinking way too many fluids today because of all this. Well, listen, lately on Tuesday, like when I start to do the live stream, like I feel like crap. And when I'm done with the live stream, I feel so much better. So it's my Advil, the live stream. It's my Advil. So thank you everybody for watching. Please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Please leave a comment in the comment section of this video after the live stream requesting something specific in the future. Next week, we're not going to do the live stream on Tuesday. We're going to do it later in the week. And you can also leave a comment on the posts that I put on YouTube. I need to rearrange my YouTube channel, and I'll do that this summer. So, Phoenix, thanks for joining. Paul, thanks for joining. Constantinus, thanks for the questions. And Joe, appreciate you. Devastator Omega, thank you. I appreciate you watching as well. And thank you, everybody. I hope you got something from this. All right. I'll see you all soon, okay? Have a good day.